Hi loves, welcome back to my channel. My name is T.Michaela and today's video is going to be a somewhat detailed beginner friendly makeup tutorial. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. Of course we want to start on fresh clean face. So I've already washed my face. I'm just going in and toning and putting on a moisturizer. I then use my primer. I'll have the products linked below. This is one of my favorite primers thus far. It's really sticky and tacky, so the foundation just sticks so nicely to the skin. So now I'm going in with my foundation. I use two different shades sometimes. The first shade is a little bit darker, as you'll see, but personally for me this works because I'm able to lighten up the foundation color if needed with concealer, which is typically what I do anyway. So I also think it's important to note that your foundation should definitely match your skin tone, but you should also pay attention to the undertones of your skin. So for example, if you have warm undertones or like golden undertones versus cool or neutral, I was personally using a like warm golden undertone foundation at first, and it made me look lighter than what I am and just was not matching. But using a foundation that's slightly darker but still my skin tone works great. After my foundation is well blended into my skin and pressed in, I'm going to go in with my concealer. I'm still a basic girl, so I still use the LA Girl Pro concealer. I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. If it works for you, it works. But I use a lot less than what I used to. My goal now is to apply the concealer where I want it to highlight and accentuate, and so I don't go all the way down as far as I would normally do. I kind of try to go in a curve upward. When it comes to concealer, I'll use 2 to 3 shades lighter as my first concealer shade, and then I'm gonna go in with a lighter concealer shade, typically in the corners of my eyes and on the bridge of my nose. Setting spray is always a must. I typically spray setting spray after foundation, after concealer, and let it dry down. This is my first time using a fluffy brush to blend out my concealer, and I actually do like the way that it turned out. I think that it helps with placement if you're not very confident on that. I feel like it helps position where you want your concealer to sit on your face, especially around your under eyes and your forehead as well. So I'm just blending. I'm kind of checking to see what I like. I did end up going over, once I blended out with a fluffy brush with my sponge, just to give it a very smooth appearance. I think that if I would have just left it, it would have looked very rough. Helps get rid of any harsh lines that you might have between your concealer and your foundation. As you can see, you can tell that I have concealer there, but not as much. But if you do still have a harsh line, I do back in with my foundation brush and kind of blend out those harsh lines so it's not really as noticeable. I also use a sponge to do my nose. So for powder, this is a new powder that I tried. I actually really love it. It's the Makeup Revolution baking powder or setting powder. This is the color Banana Deep for medium and dark skin tones. I typically start light with my powders and try to go heavier if I need. Thing that I like to do is to press in my powders under my eyes. Specifically, when I apply the setting powder to my forehead and to my chin and even my nose area, I do leave a little extra so it can be dusted off. But I find that pressing the powder under my eyes just helps it to stick better to a cream that you already applied, and therefore giving you more of a mattified look. This is a great thing to do, especially if you have oily skin. My skin tends to be oily, especially in the summer. I do sweat a lot, so I ensure you all that doing this ensures that, especially during the hot months and for oily skin, that your makeup is sticking and staying in place and mattified to the best ability. So instead of contouring, I actually use powder. Contouring is just too much for me, and I find this is easier and also gives me more of a snatched look. So to do this, what I basically do is take my beauty blender and powder, and I start at the top of my ear and work my way downward, kind of in a slope look down to the corners of my lip. It is very important that both sides, when you do this, look symmetrical. So at first, I started lightly, and now I go in with more powder and add so it can be defined more and give me more of a snatched look. Yes, very cute, darling. So now that my powder has set for a little bit, I only let my powder set for 2 to 3 minutes. I'm going to buff the powder out. You heard me, buff it out. Don't spread it. Don't wipe it away, just buffing it, because you still want enough powder to be there to where it does stay on your face and it does what it needs to do. When it comes to the powder that I use to give me that concealed, chiseled look, I am a little bit harsher, so I do swipe an upward motion just to get rid of harsh lines as best as I can. But I do not want to get rid of them completely, because if not, then I lose the chiseled look. Well, something else that I don't do is contour my nose. Instead, I've used bronzer, and I apply it like I'm contouring, but I bring it up to the insides of my eye. I also use bronzer for if I don't feel like doing eyeshadow and I just want a very natural look. For bronzer, I'm also going to apply it in a C-like position or formation. So it's going to be in between where my concealer is applied and kind of upward, just like a C motion. I don't go too far down, because if not, then it looks crazy. But this is kind of acting like my contour in a way. It's giving me a more definition where the contour would be, and just warming up my face. I like to apply this, or especially around my forehead area, because your forehead is typically darker. When applying blush, I also applied in an upward motion, not so much a C like I do with bronzer, but definitely on my cheekbones. So typically I would like grin or smile to see where my cheeks rise and where I want it to be applied at, and I focus more so on those areas. Ooh, bless you, girl. Eyebrows for me are pretty simple. Fluff them out, fill them in, and I will go underneath with some concealer that is close to my skin tone, just to give them more definition and a defined shape. That is simply all I do for my brows. Y'all, please invest in a good setting spray. It brings everything together. My lip combo is pretty simple. It's also my go-to lip combo. Just simply line my lips with a brown liner. I do sometimes overline my lips, especially my top lip, to give it more, I feel like it gives it more shape and like kind of more defined, and I like that a lot. Of course, you can use any lip cream or lip gloss that you like, but I like to use the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream. It goes on so gently, so smooth, and it dries super quick, which is great because I like to put a gloss over this. And so the matte cream ensures that it stays in place, nothing's moving, and that when I apply my lip gloss on top, as you'll see, it just enhances the color. Like, do y'all see what I mean? Such a beautiful shade of pink. It's not too dark, it's not too light, but it pops. It makes your face pop, and I absolutely love it. Brown girl certified, okay? Please also remember that texture skin is completely fine and normal. I hope this video helps someone out there. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more. Love ya.